Coming to you live from the NowMedia newsroom.
And a couple of things in here, but the BC ports seeing record volumes. That's the good news. But in some of the less good news, Rustad says Indigenous rights and private property rights cannot coexist, and he calls on the Supreme Court to intervene. And that's, like a lot of this has to do with that Richmond decision there. And his remarks were made in relation to last month's ruling in the BC Supreme Court that the Cowichan tribes were the owners of 7.5 square kilometers in Richmond, and they're like kind of co-title holders. How can you sell that land? And this is bringing into question a lot of land in British Columbia here. So, I mean, it is obviously causing a lot of concern. I've talked to a few large developers, and there's not a lot of development going on in BC or sales for that matter. But they're doing well in Alberta. So, these are the things that are going to cause some of that grief here. There's a fire going on.
This is literally, you choose your economist. Doesn't matter who your economist is, as long as they're not like a communist or something like that. Like any sort of mainstream economist. Oh. And ask them, what are the essential ingredients for prosperity in the modern world? And if not number one, then very, very close to number one would be secure property rights. This is so basic. Anybody that's even like just fallen over onto an economics book by accident, chances are that would have been what they'd have seen on the page. This is just like civilization 101. And no, but again, like Rustad is being made to seem like some kind of freak here by a lot of the media and a lot of commentators. It's like, oh, Rustad, like, and even implications that he somehow like has some kind of ethnic prejudice against these people or something like that. Absurd. I can't believe that he's one of the only people that's making this noise. It's everybody in Canada, everybody in the whole, Western world should be saying, this is dodgy. Don't do that.
I did interview. Name slips my mind right now. The person that worked in government for 31 years in Aboriginal law, and he said that the BC NDP made a choice, an ideological choice, not to argue for the private lands that are already into the fee simple. They made that ideological choice not to make that argument. So this will end up in the Supreme Court of Canada. But in the meantime, these properties and many properties in British Columbia have a cloud, what you call a cloud, hanging over their head, right? So if you're a developer, a large developer, and you have a choice between Alberta and British Columbia, where are you going to go? You tell me.
I would honestly say you're probably going to go to Florida.
Oh, there you go.
Screw both of them. But no, obviously, if it's Canada you're interested in, yeah, you're going to go to Alberta, aren't you? Where there's more of a guarantee.
Looking out the window here, that fire that we had, which is late in the year fire, but I thought we'd just bring it up. 1,000 Peachland properties on evacuation alert. It was kind of like, Forest Service Road. And usually the fires don't, get out of hand at this time of the year, the cooler temperatures and that. So, I'm looking out the window here. And that's how we can tell, it must be known. Obviously, it's more frightening for people that are in those areas there, but I don't imagine it getting that far out of hand at this time of the year.
Well, it's going to rain. Like all of next week is basically rain and cloud, isn't it? So the weather is in favor.
Yeah, cooler temperatures. Fire activity is a lot lower in cooler temperatures for sure. But here's some good news for British Columbia. Record cargo volumes at the Port of Vancouver as extra oil from TMX heads to Asia. And it handled a record 85 million metric tons of cargo in the first 6 months of the year. That's an increase of 13% compared to the same period of last year. And again, what's the key word there? Oil. Right? Oil and gas. Yeah. You know what I mean? And this is what the Liberals have been suppressing for 10 years and continue to suppress, right? There you go.
But now it's almost, and the NDP as well, BC NDP.
Yeah.
But now it's got to the point where, they're pulling their pockets inside out and nothing but dust falls out. So they're saying, oh, okay, let's go back to that thing that made us money.
I need to correct you. I need to correct you there, because they're not pulling their pockets out. They're pulling your pockets out.
Our pockets. Yeah. It's like, where's all your money going, you idiot? I'm punching you as hard as I can, but there's no money falling out.
They basically got you by the ankles, and they're shaking you, wondering if where they're... Or basically, I think they're in your couch right now with their hand deep inside the couch. They're looking for whatever's left.